Hello students, your teacher Harpreet Kaur is back. So here I am to teach you today chapter 5 Indigo of the book Flamingo, and we are going to do part 2 of the explanation of the chapter. So are you ready to learn explanation with me? Yes. So why to wait? Let's proceed. Here at this point, Gandhi decided to go first to Muzaffarpur, which was en route to Champaran. It was on the way to Champaran to obtain more complete information about conditions than Shukla was capable of imparting. As Shukla was an innocent, illiterate peasant, he only knew what sufferings they have. He was not aware about the rules and regulation. So Gandhi thought of going to Muzaffarpur to collect the first-hand information, to collect all the information related to this case of Champaran, and then he thought of proceeding further how to fight that. As Gandhi himself was a lawyer, so he always used to prepare beforehand before actually proceeding for a case. He accordingly sent a telegram. So what did he do? He sent a telegram to Professor J.B. Kriplani of the Arts College in Muzaffarpur, whom he had seen at Tagore's Shanti Niketan school. So Gandhiji had already met one of the professors named J.B. Kriplani at the Arts College in Muzaffarpur. He met him at the Shanti Niketan school of Rabindranath Tagore. So Gandhi sent him a telegram that he is coming and he should be making certain arrangements for him. So let's see what Gandhi did on reaching Muzaffarpur. Okay, so Gandhi arrived at midnight, 15th April 1917. Kriplani was waiting at the station with a large body of students. When Gandhi reached there at Muzaffarpur railway station, a large number of students were there to welcome him along with Professor Kriplani. Gandhi stayed there for 2 days in the home of Professor Malkani, a teacher in government school. It was an extraordinary thing in those days, Gandhi commented, for a government professor to harbor a man like me. So Gandhi recalled that during those days in 1917, it was really difficult for the government employees to give shelter or give shelter, etc., to entertain the people who are against the government. Okay, so people like Gandhi were not entertained by people, but this Professor Malkani was very courageous, and he allowed Gandhiji and he entertained Gandhiji. He was the host of Gandhi for 2 days. In small localities, Indians were afraid to show sympathy for advocates of home rule. So here in this line, we are getting the reason why Gandhi think that the government employees did not harbor people like Gandhi, and because they were scared of, they were afraid of showing sympathy to the people who wanted freedom, and it was difficult for the government employees to entertain these people. Let's proceed further and see what this chapter has to tell us about this particular Champaran episode and how Gandhiji proceeded in this further. The news of Gandhi's advent and the nature of his mission spread quickly through Muzaffarpur and to Champaran. Sharecroppers from Champaran began arriving on foot and by conveyance to see their champion. Muzaffarpur lawyers called on Gandhi to brief him. They frequently represented peasants group in the court. They told him about their cases and reported the size of their fee. So here Gandhiji had reached Muzaffarpur, and this news was spread to Champaran, and peasants from all walks, they started coming to Muzaffarpur as they came to know that Rajkumar Shukla is able to bring Gandhi to Muzaffarpur. Soon Gandhiji will be in Champaran. So everybody started collecting in Muzaffarpur, and in the meantime the lawyers in Muzaffarpur called on Gandhi. They asked, and they were just briefing out the things. They were giving the details of the cases to Gandhi. They boastfully told Gandhi about their cases, how many cases of peasants they have, and they also reported their size of fee. So they also told him, wow, we take this much amount of money from the peasants to fight their case. Gandhi chided the lawyers for collecting big fee from the sharecroppers. He said, I have come to a conclusion that we should stop going to law courts. Taking such cases to the courts does a little good. Where the peasants are so crushed and fear-stricken, the law courts are useless. The real relief for them is to be free from the fear. So Gandhiji said that he has come to a conclusion that they should stop going to the law courts, because going to the law courts is of no benefit, because here he is giving us the reason why he thinks that they should not be going to law court. In this paragraph we get the reason. So he said that they are so crushed. So crushed means when they want to go to court, the lawyers charge heavy amount in the form of fee from them, and they are also fear stricken. They are afraid of going to law courts. First of all, if they courage to go to the court, and these lawyers just for making their own money, they charge heavy amount to the peasants. So Gandhiji thought that the real relief was, the actual relief was to make them free from fear. So once these peasants are free from fear, they are able to say their own things. They are able to voice against something. I mean, the cases, there is no need to go to law courts, etc. They will be able to fight for themselves. This is what Gandhiji wanted for the peasants. Okay, now we are proceeding towards the paragraph where actually what the problem in Champaran village was, that is shown here. Most of the arable land in Champaran. Now what is arable land? The land which can be cultivated. Okay. The land which can be cultivated in the Champaran district was divided into large estates owned by Englishmen and worked by Indian tenants. So there were two partners, one were the Englishmen and the other were the peasants. So peasants used to work on it, and the ownership was with the Englishmen only. The chief commercial crop was indigo. So here we come to know about the heading, the title of the chapter that is used in the text also. So indigo, what is indigo? It is a name of a crop that is commercial. That means this crop is sold and purchased on the commercial level. The landlord compelled all tenants to plant 3/20ths or 15% of their holdings with indigo and surrender the entire indigo harvest as rent. This was done by long-term contract. Okay. The landlords had made an arrangement with the poor peasants in such a way that they make them cultivate indigo crop at the 15% of their holdings, and they wanted the entire indigo crop harvest as the rent. So this was in the form of a long-term contract, and the peasants had no other choice because they did not have land and they had to take the land from the Englishmen. So they used to give them all the sharings of the indigo crop. Now what was the problem, actual problem? What was the actual problem? Let's see, that is depicted in the next paragraph. That is, I'm going to read that. Presently, so we are at this point. Presently, the landlords learned that Germany had developed synthetic indigo. Now this is the root of the problem. Germany had developed synthetic indigo. They thereupon obtained agreements from the sharecroppers to pay them compensation for being released from the 15% arrangement. Now landlords were very clever. They came to know that Germany has made synthetic indigo, and now they need not to their crop will be a little expensive, as synthetic indigo will be cheaper, and they will not fetch buyers for the indigo crop. So that is why they made a plan, and they wanted to dupe the peasants. So they did one thing. They told them that okay, they want to release them from that 15% arrangement, but for the sake of releasing them, they wanted a compensation. So it was very surprising for the peasants that the landlords were releasing, and some of them were very happy. Oh, it is a burdensome thing that at least we are getting free out of this particular arrangement, as this arrangement was not at all favorable for the peasants. So let's see what happens, whether this offer, what was the effect of this offer by the Englishmen to the peasants. The sharecropping arrangement was irksome to the peasants, and many signed willingly. Those who resisted engaged lawyers. The landlords hired thugs. Meanwhile, the information about synthetic indigo reached the illiterate peasants who had signed, and they wanted their money back. So some of them were really happy that at least we are getting rid of this arrangement. They happily, willingly signed signed the agreement. Okay, we are being relieved from 15%, and let us just give some compensation and get away of this every year arrangement, etc. Some of them willingly agreed on the agreement and got themselves relieved from the arrangement, while there were certain who were adamant and who did not want to do this thing. They thought that there is something fishy in this, and they hired lawyers. But the landlords had hired thugs. Thugs are the people who just threatens the villagers, who just threatens the people, and they do the work what their employer asks them. Meanwhile, the information about synthetic indigo. So what happened? The people who had already signed, and the information regarding the synthetic indigo had reached to the peasants also, and they just were worried about, oh, what will happen to us? We have already signed the agreement also, and we have given the compensation, and they felt that they are actually being duped. They are being Englishman had taken undue advantage of them, and they did not reveal the actual truth behind what was the actual reason. So they wanted their money back. So this was the actual problem in Champaran village, for which this Rajkumar Shukla wanted Gandhi to come to his village and help them in getting justice. So he wanted Gandhi to fight for them and bring justice for them. So that's the end of the part 2 of the explanation video of the chapter Indigo of the book Flamingo for class 12th under Ncert curriculum. So I hope you all have enjoyed reading and understanding the chapter from me, and your most of the doubts are clear. If you still have some doubt, kindly write in the comment box so that I can make a shorter video of question answer form for your problem that you have come across. So don't forget to share my videos with your friends, and see you again in the next video. So wait for part 3 of this video.